Hot sports all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Hot sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hot sports all plays.
And welcome everybody to the latest edition of Real Talk. I am Mr. Bond Chronicles, your host, and I am so excited to be here with a number of my guys. We got Jay, we got Kenny, we got Chris. Fellas, what's going on with y'all?
Oh, man, everything is good. We got the best sports weekend of the year going on right now. So if you're a sports fan, you're in heaven.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the hell Kenny's talking about. Damn, Randy Gregory betrays the Dallas Cowboys and goes and joins freaking Denver. Then we let Amari Cooper. We signed ACL torn Gallup. It's not a good day. It's horrible. No, I'm just kidding. It's a terrible day for a Cowboys fan. But in the world of sports in general, it is a great day. Hey, listen, hey guys, if you don't know this, Milan Morris just became the first graduate athletic coach at Michigan, and a great day for women to be recognized in sports. She's the first female athlete to be recognized in that role in a Big Ten school. The only kind of weird thing about it is she's basically a basketball person. She played for Georgetown Hoyas, so she's a basketball kind of person. And she does have a master's in sports management. I don't know how that's going to translate into the world of offense, teaching quarterbacks mechanics and things like that in the NFL. But Jim Harbaugh seems to be sold on her, so I'm going to go with Jim Harbaugh. And at the end of the day, man, for gender equality, for African Americans, it's a great day to have her reach that milestone for women. And, hey, more power to her, and I wish her all the great successes.
Absolutely.
For sure.
By the way, rest in peace. Hey, rest in peace to the 6 that passed away from the golf tournament. Do that 13-year-old crossing lanes and taking them out. Let's all extend our prayers and things of that nature to those 6 that were perished and the one golf coach that perished in that terrible accident.
For sure.
Chris, what you got? You got a lot to follow.
Oh no, it's been a great day in sports. Best sports weekend, like you guys said, of the year. Other than my Hoosiers are getting their tail kicked right now, so they're going to get eliminated by St. Mary. They're down by like 15. Kentucky's having some trouble.
Oh no, it's way more than that, buddy.
Is it more than 15 now? I got mad and turned it and started watching.
Yeah, it's 28. Right. It's 28.
They doubled it since I turned it. Started watching that UConn game.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Like the game that was closer.
I hear you.
The game's been moving fast. I was in the living room. I walked in here, went from a 1-point game to a 6-point game. And, one of my big parlays took a dive, but it happens. But yeah, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot to cover. So we're going to start. I know March Madness is here, and we would definitely get to that. But this is a show about the stars, and the stars are moving. Devonta Adams is headed to Las Vegas to team up with Derek Carr in the argument. Actually, I'll ask you this question in a minute. But going to the AFC West, which has been a loaded division this year. Most people believe, or at least I believe, it was because Aaron Rodgers was selfish. And now Green Bay is going to be paying this man all this money and go nowhere because he has no one to throw the ball to. But I'll start with you, Chris. What are your thoughts on the Devonta Adams trade?
I was surprised. I figured they'd try to find a way to sign him. I do think it has something to do with Aaron Rodgers taking all that money, and just with their salary cap restraints, there was no way after they gave him that money that they was going to be able to keep Adams without franchise tagging him. And I guess they must have been afraid that he was seriously going to sit out the season if they didn't come to a contract with them to trade him away this quick. And I thought they would have got a little bit more for him, to be honest with you, than what they got. I haven't heard the exact thing, but I think it was just a couple of picks.
Yeah, a couple second-round picks.
It's a first and a second.
Oh, it's a first and a second? Okay.
I heard it was first and a second.
Okay.
And as good as Adams is, I thought they had been able to get a little bit more for him than that.
Yeah, but I think I believe part of the one that was working against him was apparently it was common knowledge he wanted out. Aaron Rodgers knew that as well, but also they had to pay him, and that deal he just got makes it worth it. So I think those two things combined, if they're going to pay him all the money, they gave him a first and a second this year. I mean, I don't know how much you could get given the time frame when you needed to make this deal happen.
They're definitely going to have to go. Green Bay's definitely going to have go after a receiver with one of them picks in the draft, you would think now.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, for sure. Kenny, what you got?
Yeah, I was surprised as well. It just doesn't make any sense to me because it seems like, the thought was that once Rodgers signed his contract, that gave them some capability, or he, gave them some money to be able to. They added some money back into their cap. So, and the fact that they franchised him, so that's the other part that really doesn't make sense. Like they franchised him, so they didn't necessarily have to pay him this year. They could have just, although he said he was going to play on the franchise, he has no leverage. Either you play or you don't get paid. So, it's not like he can, he couldn't force his way out of that situation that way. So I just think that they jumped the gun. So I'm totally surprised, and it doesn't make any sense to me because why do you pay Aaron Rodgers and then you don't pay his number one wide receiver, or you don't, or you trade his number one wide receiver? Why pay an aging quarterback and trade for a wide receiver who's in the prime of his career? Because what is Devonta? He's what, 26, 27?
I don't think I can check. I know he's not 30.
Yeah, he's relatively young, so that just doesn't make any sense to me. So, but kudos to the Raiders, man.
He's 29. He'll turn 30 December 20, day before Christmas.
Okay, so yeah, I mean the guy's still in his prime. Like he still has, at least 4 to 5 good years still left in him. You would think, because he's not one of those guys that's a burner or is really a super athlete type. So it's just surprising to me. I just don't understand what Green Bay is doing. And, even with those 2 draft picks and you're drafting, assuming that you're going to draft a wide receiver, it's still a toss-up because we know that picks don't always pan out. So you don't know by trying to address the position in the draft if you're going to actually get a guy that you're going to be able to, plug in there and be a number one guy for you going forward. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
And just real quick, so one of the reports that did come out just for everybody is, according to Green Bay, they were willing to match, but he wanted out is the report that's coming out. So I don't know if it was a situation where they would have been able to pay him and had to cut other people, which they've already made a couple cuts, but they are putting out that they were willing to match the money, but he wanted out, and this deal has been in the works for a couple of days.
But match what money? I don't like what
the 5-year 126. I think he got.
So I mean, if that was the case, if that was the offer, then wouldn't you have made that offer first? Why would they even need to match? The fact that he went out to get that offer for them, that pretty much says it all. Like you shouldn't have had to go get another offer for you to match. He should have been your number one priority.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think ahead of Aaron Rodgers, to be perfectly honest, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should be the number one priority.
Yeah, I've read reports that that Rodgers knew that Adams was going to leave before he signed his contract. Basically, I guess he had talked to Adams or whatever, and Adams already told him that he was out of there.
Which is definitely possible. And
I don't know how true that is.
It's definitely possible, and would speak to the fact that, to Ray's point that Aaron Rodgers just made a money grab.
Yeah. Jay, what you got?
Well, first of all, let me just say, Gonzo, I feel for you. I really honestly feel for you. It's sad to see Indiana getting mollywopped 66-33 in the NCAA tournament. It's almost like they don't even know they're playing for the NCAA title. Sad to see. But anyway,
we made it there this year. We haven't made
hey,
it.
listen, hey Gonzo, you had your turn. I'm just telling you, I'm sad to see where Indiana has gone in this. As we get back to the original question at hand, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is no longer a competitor in my books. I feel like I don't ever want to hear the word competitor and Aaron Rodgers in the same sentence. Because the only true competitor that you can really truly say is Tom Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Because even he knew that he made his money. He's good. He's set up for life. No issues, no qualms, no worries. Now I can turn my focus on taking some pay cuts in order for my team to get the necessary pieces around me to compete for a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is always and will always be about self over team. Aaron Rodgers cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's the dollar. He could care less if he gets another Super Bowl or not, because at the end of the day, he already has a ring. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers has a ring on his finger. He could care less at this point. And it was evident that he took a $50 million hit that he knew that Green Bay would have a hard time matching. For anybody, outside, much less Devonta Adams, just anybody. He knew their salary cap situation. He knew all the things that were involved, and yet he took to take the big payday. He could have taken less money. Aaron Rodgers has more money than he will ever spend in his entire life. So the ring no longer has its luster. The Super Bowl title no longer has its value to Aaron Rodgers. Now, when it comes to Devonta Adams, yeah, Green Bay did what they could, and they probably could match it. But I think Devonta knew that his ability to get a championship title with the Green Bay Packers was limited because they weren't able to upgrade at other positions because of the amount of money that he took up and that Aaron Rodgers took up. So he probably did go to the Raiders. He felt like the Raiders had a better setup in terms of Waller, Jacobs, Adams, Carr, the offensive line, the defensive unit, Max Crosby, and other things that they have going on. And he knows that the Raiders were in the championship or were in the playoffs last year, and they didn't lose by much. They lost by just a little bit. So they were just maybe one or two pieces away from being a Super Bowl caliber type team. So I think he felt like, from a competitive standpoint, being the competitor that he is, he can get paid with the Raiders and be competitive on the Raiders team much more than he could with the Green Bay Packers. And I think that's what ultimately drove him going to the Raiders. And let's be honest, folks, if you haven't seen the music or the writing on the wall, the Green Bay Packers are washed up, done, and overrated, and they're not going to ever compete for a Super Bowl for a very long period of time to come. But don't you worry, Green Bay. Don't you worry, because at the end of the day, your boy got paid.
But Jay, but does that say that Rodgers was selfish because they didn't want to pay Devonta Adams? Because they didn't necessarily.
No, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is that had Aaron Rodgers knows he's not worth $50 million. Everybody knows Aaron Rodgers ain't worth no $50 million. I guess Green Bay felt distraught enough to give him the $50 million. But what I'm saying is, if you're a real competitor, my point of all of this is, or my argument is, if you're a real competitor like Tom Brady is, you're going to take the pay cuts so that your team can field other free agents to field key spots to get your team to a Super Bowl. And he wasn't willing to do that. He wanted every damn dollar that he could squander out of Green Bay. And it didn't matter to him that look, we're all reasonable people. We all have common sense. We all have reasonable judgment. What I'm saying is you don't have to be a sports analyst to understand if you're seeking all this money and you know your team is over the cap by X amount of millions. If I take all this money, I can't compete. I can't get other free agents to come in here.
Jay,
do you see what I'm saying?
No, because the deal that he signed. No, I'm saying the deal that he signed. Supposedly, this is just I'm going off of what the reports are. That supposedly it freed up $19 million of cap space. So that doesn't go with what.
But he's making $50 million a year. How much more? If he would have taken a little bit of a pay cut, how much more could he have freed up? He made it freed up $19 million. He freed up $19 million to quantify Devonta Adams. He didn't quantify all the other spots and holes that they needed to fill.
But that's also on Green Bay, because
I get it. It's on both of them. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, because
I agree.
if Green Bay wanted to save some money elsewhere, they could have shaved some money.
But at the end of the day, Kenny, I get it. It's on Green Bay. I'm not going to. I agree with you. I'm not saying it's not on Green Bay too. It is on Green Bay because they're the ones that write the checks. At the end of the day, they're the ones that write the checks. I get that. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is, and it's pretty damn prolific. If Tom Brady takes a pay cut because he knows for his team to be successful, they need these positions filled and they need X amount of dollars to fill those positions. Aaron Rodgers knows the same goddamn thing. And I said, dang, not damn, dang. He knows the same goddamn thing. And so the fact that he's not willing to sacrifice money to get other free agents to come there, or at least give them money to go after other free agents, tells you that his competitive nature is not there.
So, Kenny, my question for you, Kenny, quick, is if they don't give him the 50, because I agree, I don't think he's worth 50. And thank you, Logan, for sharing. I was going to interject. Kentucky is going to overtime with St. Peter's.
I'm watching.
Oh shoot, St. Peter's, let's go, baby!
But I think the issue, and where I side with Jay, is if they come back with freeing up $30 million because they pay him $40 million a year, do you think Aaron Rodgers comes back? Because I think, yes, the Packers did offer, but I think they offered that because they knew that that's all Aaron would accept. And for whatever reason, and this is where I do fault them, they love this guy. And they are doing whatever it is to keep him, even if it means they're not going to win a Super Bowl. Because if they knew with signing Aaron Rodgers that they were not going to be able to bring Devonta Adams back, and you've already lost players this offseason, there's no way they're competing with the Bucs or the Rams and potentially wherever Deshaun goes. So I think this year is a wash. Maybe they're playing for next year. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was coming back for anything less than being the highest paid, which was reported a while back that he wanted to be the highest paid player by far. And I think that's why they gave him that deal. So, yes, it is on the Packers, but it's also on Rodgers because that was the only way to get the deal done, and so they can move past it. It's from what I'm believing. Your thoughts?
Well, okay, so we're all speculating that, we're speculating that they offered him, or we're saying would he not take $40 million? Because my thought is that if they say to him, Aaron Rodgers, we could do one or two things. We could sign you for $50 million, and we can sign you to this contract, and we're going to lose this guy, this guy, this guy. Or we could sign you to a contract for $40 million, and we could still bring back this guy, this guy, this guy. Are you guys saying that Aaron is saying, give me the $50 million?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Because you can't tell me that Aaron knew. Aaron knows one thing. Look, Aaron's not stupid. Aaron knows what the salary cap situation for Green Bay looks like.
He's made enough money. He's not just playing to get paid.
Aaron's a pretty smart guy. Aaron is a pretty smart guy. And Aaron knows what their salary cap looks like. And if you really want to be competitive, if you really want to put the best field team out there, you're going to take the pay cuts to pay other people to get the spots filled. And let's be honest, everybody knows, even with Devonta Adams, let's say Devonta Adams did sign it. Okay, let's say he did sign it. They still don't have the team to compete with all the other teams out there to win a Super Bowl. They will not compete. They will not be able to do it. It's just that simple. But if they want to win, I'm almost done. If they want to win, then that means he's going to succumb some of his salary to give them the cap space that they need to get those willing necessary pieces to be competitive. And he's not willing to do that. Because Kenny, let me tell you something. If Green Bay comes out and says, hey, Aaron, we're only going to give you $40 million because we want to do this, and this. You know where Aaron's going? Aaron's going to where Hackett's at, and he's going to Denver before Russell Wilson ever gets there. Straight up.
We don't.
Straight up.
He was still under contract. He wasn't a free agent.
I'm saying, but he's going to force a trade. What I'm saying is, if they don't give him the money that he's looking for, then I guarantee Aaron Rodgers is already set out. Aaron Rodgers is already sat out for a majority of the season because he didn't feel like Green Bay was giving the respect to all the players. So if he doesn't, he's getting paid when he's working. He'll sit out and say, "Look, trade me to Denver."
But that had nothing to do with
force a trade. That's my point. He'll force a trade.
And just like we'll get to another topic, they don't have to trade him. But Chris, you disagreed with me and Jay saying that he would take the more money, or that he would take the money and not care about the team. So how do you justify him taking this deal when obviously he could have taken less? And even if they bring back Devonta, they still needed to get a number 2. So it wasn't just Devonta. Everything about this says he shouldn't have taken this deal because they could have used the money elsewhere. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Well, the way they reworked the deal, it cut the salary cap for this year, and it's almost like he's on a year-to-year contract now. So it actually freed them up some where I thought after he signed this deal,
I think we can agree they could have freed up more, or you're saying this was the best they could have done with this deal?
Yeah, I don't think they would have got him for less money. I think he wanted to be the highest paid player annually.
Okay, so you agree with us?
But also,
yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think if they would have sitting there and told him, "Hey, if you take $40 million, we're going to get this player, this player, this player," I think he might have done that. But I think he's going by what the GM has done in the past and saying, "No, you guys aren't going to get those players, so I want my money."
Okay, Kenny.
No, I'm with Chris on that part. I don't think it was a matter of him taking the money and not in place of getting other guys. He took the money because this was the option that was presented to him, and he knew that this was the best option, not only for him, but there was also it was still freeing up cap space. So they didn't have an excuse. They don't have an excuse. You can't put this on. You can't put Devonta Adams on Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't put that on Aaron Rodgers. But what I'm saying is, let me ask you this question.
Why wouldn't he want to come back? Who does that go on?
To me, it goes on the Packers, because if you had the money to pay him, why did you have to match the offer? It shouldn't have had to be. They should have already made the first offer to satisfy what he was looking for contractually for him not to have to go out to another team to get something to bring back to them.
I think
to me, that's not valuing him as a player.
You think that's what burned the bridge, was them not giving him the money and putting a tag on him? That's why he didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
So even though they said, all right, now that we've got Aaron situated, we can give you this deal, and he still wanted to leave, you think that's just because they tagged him?
I think because they tagged him and they didn't offer him a long-term deal.
That's why you tag someone.
That's my point. So why, if you tag him, why do you understood? You tag him, then why did he have an offer from the Raiders that they had to match? Why didn't that offer come first from the Green Bay Packers?
Because I think in free agency, you put the tag on him. That way you can build the rest of your roster, maybe even go through the draft, fill in a lot of spots, but you designate money for him. But if you give him too much up front and you don't know what his market is, then you handicap your team. So I don't think it's a slight to say, hey, we want you, we're going to keep you, but let's see who we need to release, see who comes available in free agency, who we might can get for a deal, and then we will get you done. But for now, we're going to tag you.
But if you have understood. But if you have that, so then if that was the case, then why were you able to match that offer? If you're matching that offer, that means that you already have that money allotted to be able to pay him. You're not matching that offer if you don't have that money allotted in your salary.
They got a lot of money to pay him. They just don't have their money allotted to pay anybody else. Let me ask you a question, Kenny.
That's not true, because
let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question. Just one question. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is competitive, or do you think he's more about the money?
I think he's competitive.
How is he competitive? Tell me how you think he's competitive. Because let me honest, and I'll give you an example. No. I'm gonna give you an example, and then I want you to explain why you think he's competitive. You look at the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, Tom Brady.
Jay,
and like I told you before, hold on. Tom Brady is taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut to make sure that his team. No. He made sure he's taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut to make sure his team is in the best position possible to win a Super Bowl.
Jay,
you tell me how Aaron Rodgers has done that. Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers for the money.
Hold on, Jay. Let me counter. I'm
trying to give you the full scenario to counter on.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. When have we ever heard that Aaron Rodgers was unwilling to restructure or give money back out of his contract for the Packers to bring in
you
more
really
players.
believe that, Kenny? You really believe that, Kenny? Really believe that?
Hey, Jay,
Your heart of hearts, you really believe that?
You're reaching. No.
You really believe that because look, let's say I'm competitive. I'm a logical person. Do you really need me to ask you that question?
You're reaching.
Look, if I'm really competitive like Tom Brady, I'm gonna be like, hey, look, I don't need 50 million.
Jay, answer the question. Is Matt Stafford competitive?
Hell yeah, he's competitive.
Did he take a cap?
I would say absolutely Matt Stafford is competitive.
So when they were trying to go get Odell, did Matt Stafford change his deal to make sure they could bring him in?
Did they ask? But was that an issue? Because last time I checked, last time I checked, they just signed what's his name, Robinson, and they have money to sign Odell Beckham. So it wasn't an issue. It's not an issue there.
So that's my point. When did we ever hear that it was an issue for the Packers to bring
Green Bay? Because Green Bay has no cap. Kenny, Green Bay has no cap. They have zero.
Jay, you're not answering my question. When have we ever heard?
That's not the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah, when have we ever heard that the Packers haven't been able to bring talent in because of cap issues? When?
When I hear Kenny saying is Kenny is telling me that Aaron Rodgers is willing to give up money to bring in other players.
Yeah, I don't think we have never heard that Aaron Rodgers was unwilling to give back money to bring in other players.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, based on that, if I'm a competitor, if I'm a real competitor, do I need somebody to spell that out for me, or can I not think that on my own?
Jay, give us another example of somebody doing that besides Tom Brady.
I don't know if you even need another example other than Tom Brady.
You do need another example.
I think that speaks volumes for itself.
A bunch of people have won titles and not giving money back.
But how do you expect the number one guy in the country? The number one guy in the country.
Jay, was Michael Jordan a competitor?
Yeah, hell yeah, Michael Jordan was a competitor.
Did he give money back when Scotty needed a better deal?
Are we really doing this? Because were the Chicago Bulls over the salary cap? No. That's a good question. It's a fair question.
They didn't want to pay him.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question. What I'm saying is, were the Chicago Bulls cap strapped?
They could not pay him.
The Chicago Bulls could not pay Michael Jordan.
No, Michael Jordan took the max. And Scottie Pippen was getting peanuts, which is why we keep hearing Scottie Pippen.
Okay. If he took peanuts, he took peanuts. But what I'm saying is, they made it work within the cap structure.
If Michael Jordan knew how valuable Pippen was, why wouldn't he make sure Pippen was happy and offer to give more money?
Pippen can't play. That's not even really a fair comparison because, quite honestly, Pippen paid for what Pippen played
not
for.
Giving money back does not make you.
He wasn't forced in that position. Pippen never said, "Hey, Michael, you got to take a pay cut, or I'm freaking leaving." Pippen never put him in that position.
Rodgers never said that either.
Hey, Jay. Peyton Manning?
You're right. My bad. And no. You're right. Aaron Rodgers is a competitor, and he wants max value for his team. You're right. My bad.
Manning get money back?
You're right. No. You're right. Aaron Rodgers wants max value for his team.
Never had a good defense when Peyton was there. You could say that it was because he took his money, but nobody says that about Peyton. And I'm a big Peyton Manning fan. Because I'm a Colts guy. But
come on, Chris.
Hey, look, I'm all for the truth, man. I just think that at the same time, if Aaron Rodgers is really a competitive guy like he's going to do what he's got to do. Aaron Rodgers don't need nobody to tell him to take a pay cut. Aaron Rodgers don't need nobody to tell him that.
Real quick update. St. Peter's is up 3 with 56 seconds left.
Bro, that's amazing. I hope St. Peter's takes that win.
So that would
That's
be
blow up a lot of brackets.
Yeah, that'd be.
Bro, are you kidding me? That's a huge. You're damn right. It's gonna blow up some brackets.
So you already had 2 5 seeds getting beat. If they lose,
I don't know, Kenny. Hey, Kenny, I understand what you're saying, Kenny. I understand what you're saying. I understand what Ray is saying. I just feel like I gotta be honest with you, Kenny. I just don't think that Aaron has the competitive nature that Tom Brady has. I think he lacks that. I think he lacks.
You're comparing him to the greatest player.
No. I'm not talking about skill sets. I'm not talking about skill sets.
It doesn't matter. You can't compare someone to Tom Brady.
Yes, you can.
Supermodel wife that's worth $500 million.
Ray,
It's
I'm
not
not
the
saying
same.
look, he's not there.
Aaron
He's not as
Rodgers is a
gifted. Hold on,
single
right now.
man.
Hold on, Ray. Ray, I'm not saying
Ray,
that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying that is that Tom Brady will sacrifice tooth and nail for his team to win, and Aaron Rodgers won't.
Right,
Aaron Rodgers
you're missing the fact that Tom Brady's other half is worth $500 million.
Oh, come on. Okay, well,
It's
then
a
there
whole
you go.
lot
There,
easier
okay,
to
there's always
get money
something,
back.
right? Tom Brady's like,
But
oh, well, you know, I don't need this money. I don't need this money. Y'all
It's a whole
just
lot
take it.
easier to get money back when you got a better half that's making as
More
much
money than
Well, there you
money
go,
than
guys.
are.
That's the answer. The competitive nature is that Tom
And
Brady
on that-
has a wife that's worth a lot of money, so therefore he can
Right, but you-
sacrifice.
because
I don't
There's
think
your
you-
answer right
I don't
there.
think you can
Because
measure
you're
somebody's
associating with
competitive.
the
All right, no,
generation.
that's your answer.
That's a portion
I get it.
matter.
I don't think you
That's
can
your
measure
answer.
somebody's competitive nature on how much money they make on their contract.
Oh, man.
I see
So, yeah,
every
we'll agree to
NBA
disagree.
superstar taking max deals right now.
Yeah, nobody is taking below market value.
You're right. Aaron Rodgers is the best thing since sliced bread.
We're not
So,
saying
with that being
We're just
said,
saying
we
ain't
spent
nobody
way
giving
too
money
much
back.
time on Aaron Rodgers.
By the way, I love you, Kenny, because you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. I love you.
When you look at the
My
AFC
man, love
West,
you too.
who's coming out of the AFC West? I'll start with you, Chris.
Man, AFC West is going to be a monster, especially with
Got
the
that right.
Raiders adding Adams. I still think the Chiefs have to be the favorite. I know the Broncos are going to be better bringing in Russell Wilson, but I just until somebody beats Patrick Mahomes and takes that division, I have to favor the Chiefs.
Kenny?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm really interested to see what the Chargers look like next year because bringing in Khalil Mack to put with Bosa, that's a lethal combination to put on a D line, and then signing back Mike Williams,
J.C. Jackson.
and the corner. Yeah, so they've done some really big things. So I think they can make a jump, but I'm with Chris that. Until you knock off the king, the crown off the king's head, I'm still going with the king of the West right now, and that's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs because they did sign a safety as well, a safety from
They
the
lost
Browns.
Matthew, but they signed I forget the other guy.
Yeah, from the Browns, I believe. And I think that may be an upgrade at that position. As much as I love Tyrann Mathieu. So to me, I think they're still the cream of the crop in terms of that division, but it's just going to be super competitive. You could easily see 3, maybe 4 teams making the playoffs out of this division. It could happen. That's how strong that division is.
Yeah, because they got 7 teams that can go now, so that would be something if an entire division went. Jay, who you got coming out the AFC West?
Man, I will say this, and Greg, God, I hate. Yeah, I agree. Look, Cincinnati already showed you that Patrick Mahomes can be beat. Tampa Bay showed you that Patrick Mahomes can be beat. They lost Pringle. They lost Tyrann Mathieu. The Chargers gained Khalil Mack. If he's healthy, he could be a huge addition to Joey Bosa. They gained J.C. Jackson, which is a huge addition to the secondary. Herbert, we know what Herbert can do. We know what Keenan Allen can do. Mike Williams can do. I think San Diego is definitely in a huge upswing. Obviously you got Russell Wilson in Denver, so that's a huge thing over there. I think that Kansas City is going to have its hands full. I think they're going to have their hands full, and I think that they're going to struggle against the San Diego Chargers for sure. Because let's be honest, Kansas City's defense wasn't exactly the best, and the fact that they lost Tyrann Mathieu, that's a huge hurt. I think it's going to be very tight between San Diego, and I think it's going to be very tight between Kansas City. God, that's a hard one to say because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I get that, but I think San Diego can put just as much of a fight on that team. So I think it's going to be a very tight race between San Diego and KC. I think if Kansas City takes it, it's going to be by a very slim margin.
I agree with a lot of y'all said, but where I disagree is I think the Raiders are in the best position to win. We saw what Hunter Renfrow did last year with nobody else on the other side. you're bringing in a Devonta Adams with Derek Carr that I believe played at almost a Pro Bowl level.
And Waller.
And the running back they got is solid too. Like
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Like that offense is arguably as good as it gets, but when you look at the rest of the division, everybody has loaded offenses.
Right.
And they did release Carl Nassib, relatively big loss, but I think that they can replace it. So Oakland, my concern is on the defense. But Vegas, my biggest issue is Josh McDaniels, and that's why I left that up. I have no idea what he is as a head coach. I've seen him once, wasn't impressed. He may have learned, but I think that's going to be their undoing. I think they should win that division. I think he's probably the worst head coach in that division. And I think that's going to really be
worse than Hackett.
I think he will be. Because the issue with him wasn't even X's and O's. He not only was he cheating, he didn't put his team in a position to win, and he seemed to be a poor leader of men. So unless he's fixed that, I think that's going to be his bigger issue that I think they'll have going forward. And there's some personalities that he's going to have to deal with in that locker room. And it's in Vegas. Like Vegas is Vegas. We've seen the issues that Alvin Kamara was in Vegas for a weekend and he got a case. Like it's a tough place to live and play. So for that reason, I am going with the Chargers. I think the Chargers put it together. I think so too. And on defense, I was not impressed by Mahomes much of last year. He had a great one game in the playoffs, but the second game was not that great. I think he's in essence regressing. I think they're getting older, not younger. And I think their time has come to an end. So I am going with the Chargers to come out of the division, but I am rooting for the Raiders because I really want Derek Carr to get over that hump. But should be good. And as someone just said, it is all but over.
It is done, baby. St. Peter's, Kentucky.
They're showing photos of Kentucky fans.
Bro.
Crying. It just got real.
Number 2, Kentucky goes down. Man, it's a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be alive.
Yeah, I think Coach Kyle gonna have to answer for this. He's had some flameouts, but this
This is and listen, there's no fan base crazier than Big Blue Nation.
Man, you're not lying. Hey, you're speaking the truth.
There is no fan base crazier than Big Blue Nation. My uncle was an assistant coach there for quite a few years, so I know it up close and personal. There is no crazier fan base than Big Blue Nation, and they are not going to be happy. But shout out to St. Peter's, man. Shout out to St. Peter's.
They're out in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, out in New Jersey. And the head coach, Shaheen Holloway, he's somebody I know. We used to play against his high school where I'm from. So I saw him when he was in high school, and he was a bad boy. He had a big-time career at Seton Hall. Now he's a head coach at St. Peter's. So shout out to him, man. Hopefully this leads to, bigger and better things for him. No disrespect to St. Peter's, but he's now he gonna be the hot coach, and
Florida Gulf Coast, VCU, going to happen.
AFC West is the toughest conference or division. I'm sorry. AFC West is the toughest division in football. There's not a division tougher than AFC West.
So Jay, is it because Russell Wilson?
No, it's all of it. The Raiders have improved.
I'm saying over the NFC West. Is it because Russell Wilson left Seattle?
And Denver? Oh yeah, man. Because he takes Denver. Look, Denver already had a good defense.
I mean, Seattle was already bad.
Denver just needed a field.
That's what I was gonna say. Even with Russell, Seattle wasn't that good, and even San Francisco. I know they went on the run, but I don't think anyone feared Jimmy G, and they barely made it out. The game barely ended before they were talking about they was trading them. So,
bro, but can you imagine how tough? Can you imagine how tough the West, AFC West, is going to be? Every team upgraded. Every team is playing at a high level. There's not one single team that's not going to come out there and give you fits. I mean, let's be honest. If you come out the AFC West, you got a damn sure legitimate shot at the Super Bowl because you are battle freaking tested.
Almost all the big free agents went to the West.
Imagine if Kansas City finishes last in that division.
God, that'd be crazy.
God, could you imagine? Oh my God, Greg would be so sad.
But
I would send Greg a whole bag of candy just to make him feel better.
But with all of that, like I said, the NFL's been moving and shaking. There's another issue. Deshaun Watson is a highly sought-after individual, and apparently teams were very presumptuous in their pursuit and didn't really care about their starting quarterback that they currently have in-house or how they might feel. And this has led to Baker Mayfield requesting a trade. Coming off of the year he had, coming off of the injuries he had, he is still saying, I want to be traded. So my question for you guys, and I'll start with you, Kenny, did the Browns blow this, or is Baker just being overly sensitive and not being the adult that Cleveland wants at quarterback?
Heck no, the Browns didn't blow this. He's done nothing to, well, I shouldn't say nothing, but you have one good season, dude. And so because we're out here exploring options to potentially upgrade our team, with a quarterback that is clearly better than you, now you're going to ask for a trade? Like, get out of here. This is business. This ain't personal. This is business. And basically, you're just proving our point that, once you hear, before we even done anything, before we even made a move, you're out here posting Instagram, farewell letters to the fans. And, this situation hadn't even been resolved yet. So you're just proving the fact that you're sensitive and you got your butt on your shoulders, or you're in your feelings, or whatever term that you want to use. And that you're not the franchise leader that we need to have at quarterback. So to me, it's a blessing in disguise. I would be glad that he asked for a trade, because you're doing me a favor, because we want you out of here anyway. So I don't think the Browns handled it badly at all.
Jay, what you got?
No, I agree. I'm sorry, man. I had a mental block for a second. What was the question again?
The Browns, did they blow this, or is Baker overreacting and not being the adult that the Browns want at quarterback?
Well, God, it's such a hard thing. Here's the deal, right? It's kind of like you got two girlfriends. It's like The Bachelor, if I can use that for example. It's The Bachelor, and he's got two hot females to choose between. And one has this set of attributes, and the other one has this set of attributes, and both set of attributes just intrigue the shit out of you. What do you do? Who do you go with? Because Deshaun Watson brings a certain things to the skill sets. That how do you pass that up? How do you not want to go for that? So you put all your chips in and you go for it. You say, you know what? I'm going for it. I know Baker's there. I love Baker. It's not that I don't love Baker, but God, Deshaun, he's like the Ferrari. He's like the Lamborghini. He's like the Bugatti. How do I not go for the Bugatti? I got the Mercedes-Benz SL 500 in the garage, but good God, man, I've got the Bugatti. How do I not go for the Bugatti? I'm going to go for the Bugatti. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do everything I can to be at the Bugatti. Mercedes SL 500 convertible, be damned. I'm going for it. And then the Bugatti says, you know what? Go F yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you're not the husband for me. There's other husbands out there that I just feel are better than you. So now I'm glad you appreciate my humor, Kenny. So now he has to turn from the Bugatti and go back to the dealership and say, oh, by the way, SL 500 convertible that I was trying to trade in for the Bugatti. I know you didn't want to be traded in, and I know you feel worthless now, but I need you. Oh, I need you. I need you like yesterday. Because let's be honest. There's nobody else out there for us. It's either you or bust at this point, and we've got too much on the line to just throw everything out the window. So please, for the love of God, for everything in 6 ounce, 8-pound baby Jesus, just say you'll come back. Come back to me. And you gotta hope and pray that Baker can let his pride go by the wayside enough to say, you know what, you screwed up. You screwed up. And you know what? I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be the bigger guy, and I'm going to show you exactly how good I can be. That's the Baker you hope for. Because the Baker you get, maybe the Baker that says, you know what? Go F yourself. I'm going to play decently, and then I'm going to bide my time, and next year I'm going to go play for somebody else.
So
we'll see what Baker they get. We'll see what Baker they get.
So you think the Browns should keep Baker Mayfield?
At this point, the Browns don't have a choice. Who else is out there for them to even think about?
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, you can think, okay, maybe we go after Jimmy G, but then what if Jimmy G doesn't come? And is really Jimmy G better than Baker? I don't think so. I think Baker's better than Jimmy G. So I think Baker is your best option.
I think I would take Jimmy G over Baker.
Would you?
Yeah, I think so.
Would you would really take Baker over Jimmy G? You think Baker is less than Jimmy G? Because let's be honest, I know Jimmy G got you.
I think they're pretty comparable.
Yeah, they're comparable.
And exactly, okay, that's what I'm saying. I agree with Ray. I think Baker Mayfield and Jimmy G, for different reasons, are comps. I think they're comps. I think it's a lateral
for sure.
move.
No, they're overtime.
It is. No, they're totally the same. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just saying another overtime game.
Yeah, Creighton and San Diego State.
Damn Kentucky! Can't you just let the underdog win?
No, but again, they're very similar, very comparable. But it would, if you had to pick one, I think a lot of people would pick Jimmy G over Baker Mayfield.
So here's the thing, and this is why I'm kind of confused on Baker's standpoint. We didn't give you we didn't extend you. We gave you the 5th-year extension, but we didn't pay you like the others in your draft class. There's nothing that you can look at in your history that says, I should be upset because you went and pursued Deshaun Watson. That to me is where I get lost. And I get that players are emotional. And this is Ben Simmons-esque. So you're going to pout because they want to get an upgrade that everyone and their mom knows is an upgrade when you just had arguably the worst year of your career. And so you're going to now get upset and pout your way out. You already have concerns about your ability to lead in that locker room based on when Odell left. And then Jarvis left. They've changed mad coordinators and mad coaches.
Yeah, they did. They did.
You're the constant loser in this situation.
But you know what? I got a question. Can I ask a question and it's not for me. I'm sorry. Can I ask a question? I just want to ask Kenny a question. Because I know he's talking about Jimmy G. Is your logic behind Jimmy G being better than Baker because Jimmy G made it to the playoffs and Baker didn't?
No, I just think he takes better care of the ball.
I think Jimmy G's a better leader.
Yeah, and I think he takes. And I'm not saying
that. I just want to find out what he was basing it off of, so I can understand.
Yeah. So I don't know where I was at, but the point is, I don't know why Baker's upset about this. Like, it's an opportunity for you to come back and prove yourself because you need to prove yourself. Your value's down. People aren't calling about you. You're not looking to get that max. And so not only has your play on the field been in question, but now your ability to lead is in question. Like, I could see if they said Baker's on the block for Jimmy G. Okay, if I'm Baker, I feel away. Like,
I would feel away too.
The same way Tom Brady's like, you're keeping that guy, and I'm trying to complain. That's a slight.
Yeah.
This isn't a slight. Like,
not at all.
What do you expect? They didn't go try and get Sam Darnold or Josh McCown or somebody crazy. They went and got arguably a top 5 quarterback, and they should have done that. They owed that to the team. You've been there 4 years and didn't get it done. So that to me is where I'm really confused as to how and why he carried it this way. And maybe it's an Oklahoma thing because we looked at Kyler Murray earlier in this year, and now all the spotlight's been taken off of him and his nonsense because Baker's acting like a child. And if I'm Cleveland, there's not many places worse than Cleveland as far as geographically, but I'm sending you somewhere trash. And I'll
be honest with you, Ray. Ray, I'll be honest with you. I'm
not trading you to a contender.
Right. I think, honestly, I think Jimmy G looks good.
You know what? I sent him to Detroit for Jared Goff. That's what I would do. Send him to Detroit.
I think Jimmy G looks good because he was covered up by the attributes of San Francisco. I think the attributes of San Francisco makes Jimmy G look better than what he really is. I don't think he's better than Baker. I really don't think he's better than Baker.
But
and I agree with golf. I agree with the golf. The thing you said about golf, I agree with that too. I think that Baker is much more passionate than Jimmy G will ever be about wanting to win, about wanting to do the right things. I think Jimmy G kind of screwed the pooch on not bringing in Odell Beckham more into the fold and getting him the ball more. But at the end of the day, man, I think. But I would rather have a guy like Baker on my side.
Yeah, you're telling me that San Francisco had better offensive talent than Cleveland?
No,
bro. You gonna tell me Debo isn't giving better?
That's one.
You gonna tell me that San Francisco don't get to the playoffs without Debo and Elijah Mitchell?
Who was Debo before this year?
Bro, no. Answer the question now. Answer the question. Wait, hold on. Does San Francisco get to the playoffs without Debo?
Jay, let me ask you a question.
I think you know the truth of that. No. I don't know. I'm going to hear his answer because I think he knows the truth of that. They don't get to the playoffs.
As a receiver, where's Debo on the list of receivers?
I'm pretty sure he's number one. I'm pretty sure he's number one at receivers for San Francisco.
Yeah, for San Francisco, but let's not overstate with Debo in that offense. Cleveland had two great running backs. They had the best offensive line.
And I get that. I understand what you're saying. Baker, and that's my point. I think Baker could have used better. I think Baker could have facilitated the ball a lot better than what he did. But I don't think he's worse than
a better position
to succeed than Jimmy G. But I think that's the point that if you put Jimmy G with that talent, that they have a better record than they would.
Do you really believe that? No, Kenny, you really believe that?
Look at
that's hard for me. It's hard for me to really invest in Jimmy G, given how he is with the ball.
Here's why, Jay. Because
have you seen Baker's numbers?
And what he's done with lesser talent in San Francisco,
and a run first offense.
Exactly. He's had more success with lesser talent in San Francisco. So,
and that's why I'm saying I really honestly believe, I truly believe, this is what I truly believe in my heart. I believe that Jimmy G and Baker Mayfield are comps. I don't think one is better than the other. I don't think one is better than the other. I think they are lateral moves.
But you just said you would pick.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think one is better than the other for different reasons.
But you said you would pick Baker Mayfield over Jimmy G, right?
I picked Baker. Watch this. Here's what I'm saying. I think they're both lateral moves, but I picked Baker over Jimmy G because of Baker's passion. Baker's passion.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I draw the line. I would rather have a guy who's passionate than a guy who's not as passionate.
Who cares how passionate you are if you're not winning?
Right, and so
but you can say it about both. But you can say it about both. You put Jimmy G on Cleveland, you put Baker on San Francisco, and I think you still got the same output.
I don't think Baker beat Aaron Rodgers last year in the playoffs.
Nope. I think we're saying the same thing.
I disagree. I think with Elijah Mitchell, that defense, and Debo, I think he does.
Nobody even knew who any of these people were you're naming until this year.
Right. I think
that's because of Jimmy G, and that's because of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, you can say what you want about Jimmy G's ability.
The only guy you would take over any of the guys on Cleveland. That's it.
And you can say what you want about Jimmy G's abilities, but San Francisco wins games when Jimmy G plays. When he don't play and they use other quarterbacks, they lose.
Well, of course not. Who else are they going to go to? Trey Lance? Let's be real. Are they going to go to Trey Lance?
I'm talking about like last year and the other years when Jimmy G gets hurt. I'm talking about last year and the other years too.
You think Baker couldn't do that? Are you telling me that Jimmy G?
What has Baker proven?
That's fine. I mean, I respect your opinion. I do. Gonzo, I love you. I respect your opinion. So if you think he could, he could. I personally don't think that way.
And Damien, you can't trade Baker right now because the value's low. You got to sit on Baker until you can try and reestablish his value.
I think that's why they've already said that they're not trading. Looking to trade him.
If they trade him next season,
get 50 cents on a dollar.
You're going to get Devonta Adams trade. We saw what D Hop got. Like you could get more. You get bad deals when you rush and trade a player. So I think you wait it out and you tell him to sit on his hands, or you say we can ship you to Detroit. We can ship you somewhere you don't want to go. And you might become a backup because there ain't a bunch of starting positions available where you're definitively better than the current incumbent, and you need a deal. Like whoever gets you next year has to pay you. So good luck trying to figure that out because I don't know where you go.
I was gonna say, where else can he go start at? I can't really think of a team that he's gonna go take a starter's job.
maybe outside of the Jets of Giants.
Yeah, maybe Carolina. Maybe New
Maybe.
Orleans.
No, I don't think he start. I wouldn't take him. I can get Jameis for cheaper.
Yeah, I like Winston.
No,
better
I'm just
than I
saying.
do
I'm just throwing teams out there.
Or yeah, we can trade you to Houston. You want to go play in Houston?
There you
Right.
go.
Right.
Hey, that might be the one place that's worse than what the Browns used to be.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's overplaying his hand. He's overly emotional. Do some more progressive commercials and shut up.
But I think with Houston, don't sleep on Houston. I think Houston has taken some steps backwards because of the Bill O'Brien. I think because of the Bill O'Brien error. But I like Lovie Smith. I don't think he's the candidate I would have gone with. I think I would have gone with Brian Flores. And I know they brought him in for interviews. And I think I would have chosen him. But I'm not. But I'm okay with Lovie Smith. Let me tell you something. Houston's at a point where I feel like they had to take a couple of steps backwards because they kind of screwed the pooch on the whole Dan Culley and so forth situation. But I think that they're on the right path. I think they're going to resurrect this team. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. But I think Houston is on a much better trajectory than I will ever say the Detroit Lions or even the Jaguars are on. And I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, you're comparing it to the worst of the worst, but
Yeah.
I know. Trust me. Hey, Ray. I know. I get that, but I'm just, and that's why I'm doing that. I think out of the worst, I think Houston will rise out the ashes. I think they will.
The worst. Okay. That's
but I do think that team eventually will come out of the ashes and be something. At some point, I think they will. I really do.
Hey, out of all of those teams, there's nowhere to go but up.
That's true. That's true. There's nowhere to go but up, Bubba.
You would think. But in pivoting off of the Baker situation, Deshaun Watson, thanks to a police report, he is now one of the most highly sought-after players in the NFL. He's picking his teams and having them fly to him. Like the power struggle that this man has gone through in the last week is incredible. But where does he end up? I'll start with you, Jay.
What was I'm sorry, I apologize. I was watching TV at the same time. What was the question again?
Where did Deshaun Watson end up?
Deshaun Watson, I think, oh God. All right. I think it's already been kind of said through various tweets and things of that nature that it looks like he's going to end up in Atlanta on the 3-team trade with the Colts and Houston. So what I see happening is I think Matt Ryan goes to the Colts. I think Deshaun Watson goes to Atlanta. And somehow or another, because I don't think that Houston's going to do this unless they get it, I think Houston gets 3 first-rounders in return. I think Deshaun goes to Atlanta, and Matt Ryan goes to Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. Chris, who you got? Where's he going?
I think he's going to end up with the Saints. They've been making salary cap room for him, and to me, that's the best team that he can.
No, they didn't make all the room, Gonzo. They didn't make all the room. They got $29 million, but he's looking for $35 million. So they didn't get all the room. Yeah, they're close. They're close to it, but they haven't got there yet.
Yeah, but they only have to have that $35 million for one day, and then that they can sign a contract with them, and then it'll change the cap.
Isn't he already under contract?
Yeah,
did he just signed a deal.
He signed this big deal the start of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'd just be taking on his.
Wait a minute. Correct me. I want to understand this. So if he signed a contract, I'm trying to understand this. So if he signed a contract for $30-some-odd million a year, and New Orleans can only pay him $29 million, how can they fulfill that contract?
Because the contract's divided up each year for your salary cap hit.
I get that. So are they going to have to restructure to make it work for New Orleans, who can't pay the full guaranteed amount of that year?
They don't have to pay $30 million a year.
Okay. I got you. So you're saying they can pay less.
They may have $29 million in salary cap for what the hit to your salary cap. Just like Rodgers' deal, he's making $50 million, but he doesn't count $50 million against the cap. Like they saved the $19 million by giving them $50. So it's really the science of how the numbers work.
Yeah,
so they have the money to pay him, but he doesn't count $35 million against the cap. That's where
I feel like I need a CPA to be on this show. I feel like I need a CPA to be on this show.
No,
we need a CPA in here.
So Jay, what it is you put money, some of the money into a salary, into a signing bonus, so that lessens the cap hit.
Oh, I got you. Okay, well, I can see that. I can see.
So I think that gives them the best chance to win is going to New Orleans with the weapons they have and the defense that they have. Only thing that scares me there is I'm not sure how good of a head coach that Allen's going to be.
He's had experience. I don't think he should be calling the plays. I think you might need to tailor that.
Well, they still got Carmichael there to call the play, so I think they'll be okay with that. They could just focus on the defense.
So yeah, I did see they released Fletcher Cox, but that was for him to try and come back. So I think we're good there. I agree. I think New Orleans is the best fit. Now, Deshaun Watson and I on my own podcast, I gave him a lot of credit here, but Atlanta is Atlanta. And so with his recent history, I don't know.
Hey, New Orleans ain't exactly,
Hey, real quick, is Calvin Ridley? What's the situation on Calvin Ridley? Is he going to be available this year, or is he done?
No,
he's currently suspended. So unless
that's right. So Calvin really is suspended for a while.
Unless he's able to appeal and get it reduced, then he's out.
And
so his only real, if he was to go to Atlanta, his only real
point, Jay, I'm making my point.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Write your question down and ask it after I'm done making my point.
Well, I've already submitted it via email.
All right, well, then the teacher will get to it when they get to it.
I love you.
But I think New Orleans is the better situation. I think it motivates Sean Payton, who's technically still under contract, to maybe not come back this year, but there was rumors that he might come back next year. Anyway, he just needed a year away. So obviously have coaching Jameis and I don't know, the Swiss Army knife guy that they got there is very different from Drew Brees. Yeah, Taysom Hill. So if all of a sudden you can dangle Deshaun Watson and Alvin Kamara and Mike Thomas comes back, I think that's a little bit more of a motivational factor for someone like Sean Payton or any other coach that might want to come in that could become available. Jim Harbaugh might want to. His new contract is apparently NFL friendly. So I definitely think that's the better fit. I think it's slightly, not by much, a safer fit because we saw what happened with Zion in New Orleans. He blew up. But so I think that's the best solution. And Brady's back for 1 year, max 2. I don't think you'll have to worry about him long term. And I think the city of New Orleans will embrace him in a different way from Atlanta. I think Atlanta's cool, but there's a lot of stuff to do in Atlanta. New Orleans is the Saints. And so I think for him to resurrect that franchise similar to what Breeze did, I think it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I said that the other day. I think Monday's show we was talking about this. I think New Orleans is the best situation because think about a three-headed monster of him, Kamara, and Mike Thomas. Man, that's serious business there. And then you, again, like Chris said, with the defense that they have, I just think it's the team that's going to he would be able to just be slotted in and they automatically become a contender. And I think Atlanta is still in a rebuild mode. Then also, you got that situation that's home for you. That's where you're from, and some of the distractions that comes at being home. I think New Orleans even, that makes New Orleans even more so the better destination for them.
Agreed. And if home mattered, I think he would have kept Carolina in the running, and he didn't because he played at Clemson. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think New Orleans is the best fit. I don't think Atlanta's roster is that great, especially without Ridley. You can't really move him to even try and bring in more talent or get draft picks because he can't play for at least a year. So I think that would make the most sense, but we will see. Finishing up the NFL for the most part. I know we've been on the NFL for a while and we got March Madness and things to get to. But free agency so far, we've seen Los Angeles, the Chargers do some things. We've seen some trades. We've seen what Dallas has or hasn't done. We've seen what Washington has and hasn't done. So far, who's your biggest winner and loser, Kenny, in free agency?
I've been going back and forth between the Chargers and the Bills. I think they both have done some things to really upgrade their team. And so I think I'm going to go with the Chargers because McKissick kind of, I guess he pulled an about face.
I don't know
He
what
came
he's
back to,
thinking.
yeah, came back to Washington. Me either. I don't get that. I just think that I think that because of that, if they would have gotten him, then I would have gave it to Buffalo because that was a position, running back that I've always thought about. I've always thought it was a position of weakness um, for Buffalo, or is a position that they could upgrade. So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with LA. I'll go with the Chargers because, like I said before, putting Khalil Mack with Joey Bosa on the defensive line, then you bring in the JC, bring in the cornerback, uh, you re-sign Mike Williams, uh, so everything is in place for them to really make some noise this year, and so I think that they're the biggest winner right now. If I had to go with the biggest loser. Um, I probably would go with Dallas. I think right now Dallas is the biggest loser because they've had the most defections. Now you lose Randy Gregory, you trade Amari Cooper, um, you lose now apparently Lyle Collins. He's according to reports he's going to be released. So I just think that the Cowboys have taken some major hits and they haven't really um, done a whole lot to upgrade. Bringing back Michael Gallup. Jay mentioned it earlier, coming off an ACL injury. Uh, how much is the and having lost Amari Cooper, uh, I just think that if you're gonna talk about a loser right now, I think it would be the Dallas Cowboys.
And Kenny and Jay, since you're both Cowboy fans, I would like your input on that. I feel like Gallup and Lamb are similar. Like they're faster guys, they're kind of down the field guys. I don't think Gallup plays well in the slot, but Cooper was your intermediate route runner with the more sure hands.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thought process? Obviously, Cooper's money was a big deal, but to bring back Gallup when you already have Lamb and then to let Cooper go and so far not replace it, what have they said what the thought process or reasoning for that was? Either one of
No,
you.
I know. I just think it was a money thing. The Cowboys are really in cap hell. So I think all of these moves are more money was because even when they signed back Gallup, the contract that they signed Gallup back for was for less than what they were paying Amari Cooper. So to me, that says even more so that it was a money situation. And I will say that Gallup is younger. That's probably about the only upside. And he has made some plays, but I think the biggest thing was that I think there was an issue between Dak and Amari Cooper. I think there was a chemistry issue between those two guys, and because I think that Dak really preferred CeeDee Lamb, and I think it was more of a chemistry issue that led to Amari Cooper not being here than it was money. Because I'm sure if they wanted to restructure, if they wanted to restructure and get some cap flexibility, they would have. But the fact that they didn't, even with Lyle Collins, they had already told him to pursue a trade. After re-signing him, I think it was maybe a year or two ago that they had signed him to a deal. So I just think it was more money related than it was a fit related. I should say chemistry and money related.
Jay, what are your thoughts?
I've been a Cowboys fan since 1976. I don't even think Kitty was born during that time period.
I was 3.
He was 3, my bad. I will tell you this. I think that Amari Cooper was integral for Gallup's successes. In terms of Amari Cooper drew the double teams off of Gallup and allowed Gallup to do what Gallup did. And same thing for Wilson. Of course, we don't have Wilson anymore. He went to Miami at this point.
I forgot. I didn't even mention him.
Yeah, he went to Miami at this point. So Amari Cooper had 865 yards, 68 catches, roughly about 8 touchdowns this season. You can say it's chemistry. We can say it whatever. It is what it is. It is always what it has been. I think Cooper played a role in taking the double teams off of other players, put it on himself. That's why his production kind of fell down a little bit. And I think that's why Gallup and Wilson and everybody else in between got those beneficiary catches because Cooper was taking the double teams. And if you ask Gallup himself will tell you, as he has told us, that he appreciated Cooper, that he loved Cooper, because Cooper allowed him to do what he did because he took the double teams off of Gallup. So losing Cooper is a big thing for Dallas. We're going to bring in CeeDee Lamb. I think we still need a slot receiver. If they're going to put CeeDee Lamb on the outside, I think we need a slot receiver. I think Cole Beasley, who just got released, would be a cheap but dependable slot receiver to slot in between there. So we have Gallup, Beasley, and CeeDee Lamb as your number one.
That's actually a great idea, Jay. I didn't think about that.
1976, Kenny. I've been struggling since 1976, up and down, left and right.
I get it.
But I'll tell you this. I think you know, it's okay to let go of Amari because $100 million for what he did. I get it. You don't want to pay $100 million on a guy that's only giving you 865 freaking yards. It sucks. But you have to
more because he wasn't getting the touches, though, Jay.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
So you're paying. What I'm saying is, you're paying $100 million for a man to take up double teams for another receiver to get open to get the touches. That's what you're paying for. So when people say, well, you know, CeeDee Lamb wasn't worth the money. He only got you 865 yards. Those are people who don't watch football. Those are people who don't know the game of football. And if you take those aspects into consideration, then you might as well just go on ahead and watch ESPN for everything that you know about sports. Because if you know anything about football, you know that a man who commands double teams gives the other guy the opportunities, and that is worth the money. Sometimes, but I would say this: what hurts Dallas the most is not it's not Amari Cooper. What hurts Dallas the most is the $100 million that they invested in Zeke. That's what hurts Dallas the most. I'm done.
Well, Zeke's not going anywhere, so good luck.
I'm just saying that's where where kind of Dallas kind of misconstrued their money, is putting $100 million in Zeke. That's where they went wrong.
Chris, winners and losers so far in free agency.
I'd say the winner is the Chargers with the moves they made with Mack on defense, getting Jackson, signing Williams back. My loser, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know they brought in Christian Kirk. I think they overpaid for him.
I agree.
There's another guy on there. Let me find his name.
Evan Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram and Jones. I think they paid Jones Jr. They overpaid for them guys. And honestly, their receiving core they got now isn't that much better than the one they had that they're replacing. So I think they just made some moves to try to appease fans more than they did making smart moves.
Yeah, that's a great.
I think the Chargers won. Honestly, I think the Chargers won, and the whole thing of the matter because they brought in Khalil Mack, they brought in J.C. Jackson, which are two key components that align with Joey Bosa. That defense for San Diego, if it comes into fruition that Khalil Mack is healthy, if Khalil Mack is healthy and you team him up with Bosa and Jackson in your secondary. Watch out for the Chargers. The Chargers ain't no punk.
And the safety, I can't think of his name. They got a big time safety back there too.
It was Scherf was the other guy that Jacksonville.
Scherf.
Surf, yeah.
I think I'm partial, but I think that wasn't the worst deal for them. I think that's the best of the deals they've made from a value standpoint, but I think the issue is when you're Jacksonville and you want someone to come, you sometimes got to overpay.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that deals with they've had a tumultuous offseason. We got a couple Cowboys questions, so we'll do these rapid fire. What hurts the Cowboys more? I think Amari is the bigger hurt because I think, Jay, you made a great point, and he drew double teams. And I think now when you're if you need to now double CeeDee Lamb, we saw what happened to Juju once AB left. We've seen these number ones when they have to be the man. And now he's taking the double team for Gallup. Gallup, from what I've seen, isn't a great route runner. And coming off of an ACL isn't the type of injury you want to do a whole bunch of cutting and in-breaking routes and things like that. So I think that'll be a much bigger loss, in my opinion.
It is. Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
it is. And I think we signed another defensive lineman anyway.
Man, the Cowboys have lost so damn much. Oh God, the Cowboys.
And honestly, you probably would say Micah Parsons, and we signed DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
But I would say, to me, your best pass rusher is Micah Parsons.
I think he's going to have to play on the line a lot more.
I think so too.
Hey, Kenny, who would you have rather franchise tagged? Would you have rather franchise tagged Dalton Schultz or Randy Gregory?
I probably would have franchise tagged Gregory.
Hey, and me too. Because I think they could have done. I think they could have worked a contract out for Schultz. I don't think Schultz was.
But the franchise tag, I don't think would have made a difference because they had a deal in place. He just didn't like that.
He just didn't like the language. He didn't. Yeah. Well, quote unquote, he didn't like the language. I don't think it was the language that bothered him because it's the same damn language that's in every contract that he has signed before that. I think what I think got Randy Gregory is he looked at Denver and they brought in Russell Wilson and they brought in Suffolk, and I think he said, "Hey, look, I got a better chance at winning a Super Bowl with Denver than I do with Dallas," and I think that's really the true thing that got him. It wasn't the language that he says. I think it's just the fact that he felt that he could do better with Russell than he could with Dak.
Maybe, and I think I think the other thing is too is that I think he thought he would. I think he thinks that he gets more playing time.
Which, by the way, was
Denver than he would in Dallas.
That was Gonzo's
splitting with Parsons and Lawrence.
That's what I'm saying. I think he gets more more shine in Denver because he really his only other competition on that D line is probably Bradley Chubb. So
but Kenny, you're a Dallas guy. You're a Dallas fan, right?
Yes.
How much does it piss you off that a guy who Dallas has shown extreme loyalty to, through all the ups, downs, lefts, and rights of Randy Gregory?
No,
how does that not? Because it pisses me off.
No,
it pisses me off.
This is business.
Hell of business.
I watched Tyrese Halliburton cry
when teams want to release guys, they don't give it a second thought. They don't think about no loyalty when it comes to that. So I don't.
And that's some bullshit, though. But don't you think that's some bullshit at the end of the day?
No.
Don't you think that's some bullshit?
No.
Brandon Sheriff said they lied to his face at the combine and said, "We're not trading you or we're not cutting you." And not only did they cut him, but I think they waited a day or two into free agency to cut him. We heard what Bill Belichick did to Tyrese Underwood, where he cut him the day before the Super Bowl after all his friends and family came. These players don't owe these organizations a thing because these organizations will cut them. We watched them sit Deshaun Watson at home for an entire year. We watched them sit John Wall. We watch them do all kinds of things. These players don't owe these teams nothing.
Well, John Wall, I'm sorry. John Wall owes. That man made $90 million sitting on the freaking bench. Don't tell me he don't know shit.
He didn't. That was.
How much I can make $90 million just doing
but
nothing?
The organization decided to sit him. That wasn't his choice. They decided to sit him.
Well, no, he didn't. No, it was his choice because he didn't want to take a backup. He didn't want to come off the second bench. He didn't want to come off the bench and play a six man. That was his choice.
He's better than the people started.
I get that, but still, if you're getting paid $90 million, come off the damn bench, play out your contract, and then go somewhere else. No, that's what I'm saying. Play out your contract and go somewhere else.
Where you play, I don't know what teams you played on. I've never sat on the team and said I'm better than that guy, and I was happy coming off the bench.
I don't know, man. Have you made $90 million? Have you made $90 million doing nothing?
I can make it either way.
And if he comes
I'm just asking you, are you $90 million doing nothing?
But if he comes off the bench, he could be hurting his career to try to get to any other team to be.
Maybe, but maybe not. It's still at the end of the day.
Jay, what's the value in me coming off the bench if you're going to pay me either way?
I don't know. I get it, man. I do. I hate people making money doing nothing. I hate that. I guess I hate people who get paid money for doing nothing. I hate that shit. I'm sorry, I do. I hate it. But I do get the point. I get the point that Ray's making. I get the point that Kenny's making. I get the point Gonzo's making. I'm just saying, as a personal level, I have a problem with people making money for doing nothing because you don't want to come off a bench, and that's what a team asks you to do. That's what they're paying you to do, and you don't want to fucking do it. I have a problem with that. It's a personal thing with me. It's just personal. It's just personal, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just personal.
That's true. But on the other side, especially with this Randy, in this because we're comparing apples to oranges, but with this Randy Gregory situation, like I don't fault him for doing that at all, because again, at the end of the day, this is a business decision. And if the Cowboys really wanted to, if they really wanted to keep him, they didn't have to put that contract language in there. They didn't put it in Dak's contract.
But the language wouldn't have mattered, Kenny, and you know that. Because what I'm saying is the same language has been in the contract all along. The language has never changed.
He had agreed to it.
Kenny, the language has never changed. That same language that he's saying that he has an issue with was in his last contract. It's not the language
in his new contract, Jay. The Denver deal doesn't have that language.
Exactly.
That's my point. So what Randy Gregory is telling you is, hey, listen, I'm going to sign with Denver. I'm going to sign with Denver because I can smoke weed, I can do things that are wrong, and I'm not going to get screwed over because of my contract. No, it is what it is. It is what it is. He doesn't want to buy.
I have a better way to make money. I'm going to make money a better way.
Exactly. That's my point. I'm going to make money even though I'm doing weed, and even though I'm doing things that are detrimental to the NFL's policies. I know that they won't charge me for it. So it's all about money and not being subjected to doing the wrong thing. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be transparent, and let's call it for what it is. I have no problem with doing that. Is that Jay, Randy Gregory? Hold on.
Jay, is it a better deal?
Gregory signed a contract that he didn't want to be charged with.
Is it a better deal? Is it a better deal
with Denver or with Dallas?
It's a better deal for him. It's a better deal for Randy Gregory because Randy Gregory was the drugs.
Answer the question. Is it a better? Which deal was better?
Of course, because he can do drugs and not be charged for it.
So you took the better deal. The same thing anybody did.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying that's what tells you what kind of person Randy Gregory really is.
If you worked and someone offered you a comparable deal, but it had better terms and conditions or a better benefit package, you would take the worst benefit package?
It wasn't a better benefit. No.
It was
not a better benefit package. It was not a better benefit package.
There is more security in the Denver deal.
Better benefit package.
It is a better deal in Denver.
The language was there, but not the benefit package. The benefit package was the same.
Jay, you are a fool if you would take a worse deal.
I'm not a fool, but I'm telling you, the benefit package was the same. The only thing that changed was there a language in which they used. One person said, "Hey, Randy, go out." No, hold on now. One person said, "Randy, go out and do drugs. We don't care. We're not going to void your contract if you do drugs or contract." No, if you don't understand the contract or the language, you don't understand the contract or the language. The language is he didn't like the fact that he's been accountable, and he went with the less accountable contract. That's just what it is. It is what it is.
So with everyone else, he's not unique.
Okay. So understand. I get that. I'm not disputing that. I'm just telling you that Randy Gregory clearly has a marijuana or a substance abuse problem that he didn't think he could. No. If he did, no. If he did not. No. Stop it, Ray. Stop it, Ray. If he did not have a problem, with drugs, he would have
signed that deal already. Why would he already sign that deal?
He's taking that risk out of
his deal. It's the same fucking deal. It's the same deal. $70 million. $38 million guaranteed. The only difference is the language of the contract.
It's not the same if in one deal.
It's the same fucking deal. You're telling me you can't stay clean.
It's not.
You're telling me you can't stay clean.
How is it not? How is it the same deal?
It's the same. It's the same money. It's the same structure.
One voids money out of the deal where the other one doesn't. It's not the same. It is not the same. When you have clauses that void money on your contract, It's not the
Who has
same.
money in a contract?
I got a better example. Jay, I have a better example. We just watched what happened with Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah, of course we did.
So say that same thing was to happen, and they cut him because he did something that was against his deal, and he loses that money, and then later we find out he was innocent.
Oh, now you're gonna tell me that Randy Gregory didn't test positive for drugs?
No.
What you're telling me?
Jay,
is that what we're talking about? Are we gone to that level?
Answer my question. Jay, answer my question.
That's not even a question we're responding to. It makes
that's
part of
the contract language.
Zero sense. You make
it's
zero
not
sense.
Just weed. Jay, you need to educate yourself because it's not just weed.
No. Hold on. Whoa.
It's not just weed.
You
keep pointing to weed and you're wrong.
We're not talking about education. No, we're not talking about education. I'm very well educated. Let me tell you something, guys.
Not on this deal.
Let me tell you something, guys. I'm very well educated. I'm very
on this
well
deal.
Educated.
You're not on this deal.
I'm exactly educated on this bill.
It's not.
I'm exactly educated on this bill. You're not gonna tell me I'm not educated on this bill. You ain't gonna tell me that bullshit.
It's behavior. It's not just drugs. They have behavior language in there.
Okay, again. So you're telling me. So what you're telling me, Kenny, if I understand your point correctly,
you didn't even answer my question.
No. Hold on now, Ray. Ray. Now you got a great point at turning people off. But let me ask a question.
You didn't even answer my question.
No. Hold on, Kenny. Because Kenny asked a question. I'm asking question, Kenny. So you're telling me that he can't behave. He can't do the right things.
I just gave you an example that doesn't matter.
Hold on. This is for Kenny. I'm asking Kenny. So they're paying him. They're paying him. No. Hold on. I'm talking about Kenny. They're paying him.
Can I answer your question?
I'm going to, but let me ask you a question. They're paying him to stay off of drugs and do everything correct. In other words, don't do things that are detrimental to the personal conduct of the NFL. That's what they're saying. No. Hold on. That's what they're saying. So you're telling me that Randy Gregory cannot stay off of drugs, number one. And number two, he cannot do things that are not detrimental to the policy of the NFL. No. Because that's all they're asking. Just do the right things. That's all Dallas is saying. Do the right things.
I shouldn't.
Really?
Hold on. If I have the option between not having to have
I get that.
Let him finish, Jay.
I'm letting him finish.
Who is going to pick that? Because you ain't giving me a chance to respond. Who is going to pick between the option of having
you making my point?
Deal that's going to make it, but no, I'm not making your point because
you're absolutely making my point.
Yeah, you let him finish making his point.
If you let me finish,
I will, but I want to be able to retort. I want to be able to have a retort when you finish.
Okay, if I have the option to choose between two deals, one deal says that I have to behave in a certain way in order for me to keep my money. Or the other one says that I can behave however I want and I still get paid. You're telling me that you're going to take the deal that says I have this behavior language in my contract?
I get that. That's my point. Kenny, I agree with you. I'm not saying he would take the deal that says I have to abide by the rules of the NFL or the rules of society. So he's not going to take the rules of society. He's going to go with the rules that says he doesn't have to behave, that he doesn't have to do the right thing. So I get that. And that's what I'm trying to tell you about Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory is the type of guy who's going to do drugs, who's going to do the wrong things, and that's the contract that he's going to sign. No, that's the contract. No. Hold on, Randy. Hold on now. Let me finish. Based on past experiences, and what we know about Randy Gregory, that's exactly the way he's going to go. That's exactly the way he's going to go. So you're right. You're right.
Jay, we disagree, and that's fine. So answer my question finally. So I'll give you another example. Randy Gregory's in a car, and it gets pulled over. He has no drugs on him. But guess what? He's the superstar. He's the guy that you very eloquently explained has a drug problem. Guess what the headline is? Randy Gregory caught with drugs. They cut him because of that headline. Turns out it wasn't his drugs. He's now lost millions of dollars for no reason.
Lost all his guaranteed
Did
money.
Randy Gregory put him in a position to be around people who could compromise him?
So you want everybody to be
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly, Ray. No, Ray,
So be
exactly.
perfect.
That's
Because
exactly
I
what I
can't
want,
be in
Ray.
a car
That's
with
exactly what I
someone.
want. I want Randy Gregory to be around people that are going to be a positive influence and not a demonic influence.
No. So in other words, Randy Gregory has to be a Boy Scout.
That's exactly what I expect. For the amount of money I'm paying you, for the amount of money that I'm paying you, I expect it. I expect it and I demand it.
In other words, Randy Gregory has to be a Boy Scout in order for him to get his money. That's what you're saying.
That's the way the NFL works. And if you don't like it, don't find something else.
Look at all the players that have had drug problems that are in the league or still playing in the league.
We just watched Aaron Rodgers lie about getting vaccinated and got $50 million. So don't tell me there's a bunch of
Exactly. The whole NFL is corrupt, right? The whole NFL is corrupt. I get it. The NFL is corrupt.
So what are you talking about?
Why are we holding him to a different standard than we're holding everybody else?
So anarchy then. Hell with it. Why do we even have standards or rules or regulations or morals or guidance?
Hey,
why do we have any of it? Just let anarchy reign.
Jay, by your logic, Tom Brady got suspended for cheating. By your logic, he should be done.
Should be in his contract. Right.
I can't listen.
So,
what the NFL does is what they do. Do I agree with
it?
Yes, can I respond?
Every contract.
He asked me a question. I don't know. Can I respond to his question?
I'm about to
add something to it.
I mean, y'all can just say what y'all want to say, I guess.
No. So no. I'm adding something to it before you answer. So in other words, to Chris's point, that since Tom Brady got busted for cheating, all of his contracts from now on should have a clause in there that if he cheats, he loses his money. Is that what you're saying?
If anybody cheats the game of the NFL, they should be busted. Absolutely. I have no problems with that whatsoever.
So every contract Brady signs,
and I can't help what the NFL does. What the NFL does, what they do, I can't help that.
So you're saying that every contract that Tom Brady has signed since then should have a clause in it that if he cheats, that he.
Hey, watch this. Watch this? Did you do Deflategate?
It's yes or no, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. No, hold on now, damn it, Ray. He asked me a question. I'm first trying to answer the question.
We got other topics. It's yes or no.
Well, then let's go to the other topics then.
All right, we'll keep moving along. On to another quarterback with.
I love you, Ray. By the way, Chance. I love you, Ray.
A checkered history. Colin Kaepernick has been going live on Instagram, throwing balls. He had Tyler Lockett coming to throw with him, and Tyler Lockett's brother. Pete Carroll has said that they are aware of the situation. They obviously need a quarterback in Seattle. I think Geno Smith's currently their starter.
They need a quarterback.
Does Colin fit in Seattle? I'll start with you, Chris.
I think he could fit, but I don't think he'll get a chance. I think his opportunity to get in the league has went by him. Unfortunately, I think when he didn't go to that last tryout that they tried to do for him and he done his own, I think that was the end of him getting into the league, even if he would have got into the league then. But I think he could fit in Seattle. I would like to see him play, though. I mean, we haven't really got to see him do much in the last 4 or 5 years. But if he could still do what he used to do, he would be. I mean, there's not a lot of guys out there that would be a whole lot better than him available right now if he can still play at the level that he used to be able to.
Kenny?
Yeah, I agree. Looking at the video, he looks like he's in great shape. His arm looks, sound. Looks like he still has his arm strength. He's making some great throws. Having said that, he's throwing on air. He's not throwing against any live defense. So, we got to take it with a grain of salt. But the fact of the matter is, he looks like he's in shape and it looks like his arm is fine. So I think that he should get a look. But I agree with Chris. I don't think he will. I think that this black ball it's clearly it's clearly in effect because the NFL already paid him his money to make him go away. So I don't think they're going to do anything to try to facilitate him getting back into the league. I think that this black ball is going to be for the rest of his career, unfortunately. And I don't think we ever see Colin Kaepernick in the NFL again.
Jay?
Well, it's nice to see that Colin Kaepernick and Lockett can throw the ball around and have a good time. That's great. But I tend to agree with my colleagues that Colin Kaepernick, unfortunately, is blackballed. And it just is what it is. He's never going to get a shot at anything in the NFL ever again. And even Carroll came out and said that, hey, we liked him. We liked him. We like Colin Kaepernick.
Like them 5 years ago.
And watch this. We like him, but we're not going to hire him. So, no, Colin Kaepernick will never see the football gridiron ever again. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Now, listen, guys, I fought for this goddamn country. I've been to places and I've done things and I've seen things that I pray to God nobody ever sees for in the name of freedom. Name of freedom. Now, you take freedom for whatever you think it is. I think of freedom as you can express yourself in any way you fucking want. Because that's freedom. If you tell me I can't kneel before the anthem, even though personally I have a problem with kneeling at the anthem because what I personally believe, I'm not going to say that you can't do it. Because if that's what you want to do, then you should have the right to do so for whatever it is you want to do it for. But do I think that you kneeling at the anthem, even though I personally hate it, but do I think you kneeling at the anthem should keep you from playing in the NFL? Hell no. If you can play the quarterback position and you know you're better than 50% of the other motherfuckers out there playing the quarterback position, then so be it. Play the quarterback position. Because you know what? It's freedom. This country was found on freedom. And if it's freedom, it's freedom. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no this, that, and the other. No, it's fucking freedom. And if you want to take a knee to advance whatever it is, social injustice that you want to do, then do it. Because it's freedom. And that's what we fight for. In the military, we fight for people's ability to do what they want. Now, we ask that they do it responsibly, but we also ask that they do it freely. And if somebody wants to blackball somebody for doing something that they feel so passionately about, then fuck them. Pardon my French.
Jay, yeah, we got 2 minutes.
Pardon my French, I apologize. But I'm just saying, Colin Kaepernick should have every opportunity to be in the NFL.
I disagree to a certain extent because we do that all the time. If there's something that people don't like, we ostracize them. We imprison them. Like, I agree with the thought process, but it's a slippery slope. So you guys mentioned somebody mentioned because of the lawsuit. That was one of the reasons. Someone else also had a lawsuit, an active lawsuit against the NFL, and did surprisingly get a job. That team also doesn't really have a backup quarterback. Does that team potentially become a fit, given they've proven that they're willing to take risks with people that have sued the NFL? And by them, I mean the Pittsburgh Steelers. Any chance he goes there?
It's a possibility. And because of the quarterback situation that they have, but I think they're going to go quarterback in the draft. So I would be surprised if that happens.
Chris?
Yeah, I would be surprised if it happened too. For one, I don't know if Kaepernick does come back. I don't know if he'll want to come back as a backup. And
he has no choice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, he don't have a choice.
That's
the only way he's going to get back if he wants to come back. But I'm saying I don't know if he'll do that. And I don't know if a team will bring him in as a backup just because, unfortunately, of the media and all the distraction you're going to get. Most teams aren't going to want their second string quarterback being the main thing that gets talked about every week on your team.
That's a great point. Jay, any chance he goes to Pittsburgh?
No, he's good.
Okay. We got two more things we'll get into. And I know we're almost out of time, but I did want to get into March Madness, and I guess you guys can cheat since Kentucky's out. But I did want to get everyone's final four picks if they have them. And we can start with you, Kenny.
Yeah, well, I had Kentucky as one of my final four picks, so you can take mine with a grain of salt. I got Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, and I had Kentucky, so I got to change that one. I'll change that one to. I'll change that to Baylor.
Okay. Chris.
I had Baylor, Arizona, I think Gonzaga, and then I had Iowa going there, and they already got put out.
Yeah. Jay, who you got?
Yeah, I apologize for the F-bombs. I guess I should be more professional, so I apologize. I got Arizona, Gonzaga, Houston, and Baylor.
Houston.
Wait,
Okay.
aren't they in the same bracket?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying
10% chance. That's what Vegas odds are.
You got Arizona and Houston in the same bracket.
Vegas has them 10% chance. I'm gonna go with Houston and Arizona.
No,
Houston. I guess Arizona's in the same bracket. So I would probably take. I'm gonna take Houston over Arizona. I think Houston beats Arizona.
Okay.
I think Houston beats Arizona. So I got Houston and I don't know who I got. I don't know the fourth.
So you got Gonzaga, Houston. You said Baylor.
I'm gonna put Kansas in there. Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston, Kansas, Arizona, and Gonzaga.
Okay.
I forgot that Arizona and Houston were in the same damn conference.
And I'm going to go Auburn. I want to go Baylor, but UNC looked really good today.
They did, man. They smacked Marquette. I'm
gonna go riding that beating Coach K off in his last game. I'm gonna go UNC. I'm gonna go Gonzaga. Those two bigs just when they turn it on, there's not a lot you can do with them.
That's tough.
And I'm gonna go Tennessee. I got Tennessee, Gonzaga, UNC, and I'll go Auburn. So we'll see kind of how this shakes out if we can remember that. But in final news, we had some big scoring games out of the NBA here recently. And they probably deserve a little bit more time, but we don't have it. So we're going to jump right into the two biggest, Kyrie Irving and Karl Anthony Towns. If you guys had to pick, which performance was more impressive? And I'll start with you, Jay.
I got Karl Anthony Towns because I believe that Orlando is not competition. I think we've seen what Embiid has done to Orlando. Now you see what Kyrie did to Orlando. Orlando doesn't really play defense, so I'm gonna give Karl Anthony Towns a nod on the better performance.
Gons, who you got?
I'd go with Karl Anthony Towns as well. I think what he done was I thought it was a little bit more impressive. Irving, I almost went with Irving just for the fact that it's harder for him to get a rhythm since he's setting out games. So I have to give him credit for that, to being able to catch hot like that. But Karl Anthony Towns was just, for a big man, he was dominant to that game. So I'm gonna lean toward him a little bit on this one.
Well, I'm biased, so of course I'm picking Kyrie. Part the biggest reason why is he basically did it in 3 quarters. Like that scoring 60 points in 3 quarters is like that's ridiculous. And the fact that he scored 50 like a couple of days ago, and like Chris said, this guy is playing like every other day, or every 2 or 3 days, sometimes a week at a time between games. So I just think that that's super impressive. But the shout out to both of them, man, both New Jersey guys. So I'm super proud of both of them, and they're just really representing. And I'm happy for Karl Towns because they're actually going to be in the playoffs this year. And they've really been pretty bad most of the time that he's been there. So the fact that they're over 500 and they're going to be in the playoffs this year, I'm really happy for him, and I want to see them do well.
Yeah, I got to go with Kenny, and I think the two things you said is, one, he did it, the time in which he did it, and he also did it with Kevin Durant on the court. Like, there were other people that were available. Yes, Orlando is bad, but as we've seen in the NBA, on any given night, these really bad Detroit, Orlando's, and Portland teams can beat some really good ones. The Lakers just beat the Warriors, but then the Warriors came back and won some big games. So I don't kill him as much for the competition. But I think the other part of the man's playing once a week in some cases. And so for me, that was super impressive. The other piece that I think for me is that he was finishing around the basket a lot of time. And the way in which he got shots off is just like we've seen it all his career. I don't understand how that ball gets through all the arms, off the glass, and into the basket. So for me, from an impressive standpoint, that was more impressive. But I agree, and I am happy for Karl Anthony Towns, especially after Jimmy Butler left and all the things he had to say about him. It's good to see him bounce back, and obviously, personally, he's had a ton of tragedy that he's had to deal with through this COVID environment. So definitely happy for him to kind of have that.
But you know what? I might have to change my position now because I just looked and I just saw Sadiq Bey just put 51 up on the Magic. So I kind of invalidate Kyrie's performance a little bit.
I knew he went off. I didn't know he got up to 51. Man.
This is like 15%.
Yeah. But yeah, that. Kenny, did you have something else?
No, that was it.
Okay, so we do have actually a little bit more time. So I did want to have this conversation because I have seen this conversation popping up a lot more. And I think we had a Joker versus Embiid conversation, but I think we're about 18 to 20 games out. So who do you guys have as your front runner right now for the NBA MVP? For me, this is tough. I want to say I think Devin Booker's not getting enough credit because Phoenix has not fallen off. I think the way some of us expected. He's somehow DeAndre Ayton has risen from the ashes of his first initial performance without Chris Paul. But I think what Giannis is doing is also getting overlooked. But then what Jokic and Embiid are doing, and Embiid's almost doing it in spite of Harden. That was the other takeaway that we didn't get a chance to get to. But what Kyrie Irving did to James Harden to me is criminal. And I think if you're a Philly fan, you're really nervous.
That's the best defense I've seen Irving play in a while. He was all over him.
You do not want to see Brooklyn in the playoffs based on what I just saw because James Harden is not with it. But if I have to choose right now, I'm going to go Giannis again. I know he's won a few, but he just does it on both ends of the court. I think that's my biggest knock against Joker is he doesn't do it enough defensively, and why I give Embiid the nod. So I do think it'll matter on how they finish. If Giannis gets the Bucks to the 1 or 2 seed and Philly falls to the 4 or 5, I think it's a hard time giving it to him, giving Embiid over Giannis. Denver's not going to be a top 4 seed, I don't think. But they are supposed to get Murray and Porter Jr. back potentially by the end of the year. So that'll help, but that'll also eat into his numbers as well. So I'm going to go Giannis for right now, but by this time next week, I can have a completely different opinion. Jay, who you got for MVP right now?
All right, if we're looking at overall skill sets, what they can do, how versatile they are, and what they mean to their team, I'm going Joker. And it's not even close. It's not even close. It's 26, 13, and 8. That's damn near averaging a triple-double for his career. Almost a triple-double. He can play the point. Hold on. You can play the point. You can play the center. You can play the forward. You put him there, he's going to play it. He's going to do it well. He's going to do it effectively. I get Embiid. Nothing to take away against what Embiid is doing. I mean, Embiid is great, but I don't think his skill sets are the same as Joker's. I just don't believe that. And I think Harden is a great addition. I think Harden is fitting in quite well with Philadelphia. And I think they're going to do good things going forward in the playoffs. But Joker doesn't have as much to work with as what Embiid numbers do. He just doesn't have that. And I think his numbers show that. And his numbers have shown that. Matter of fact, Joker was the MVP last year. And his numbers have gone up since his MVP numbers. Now, people can say, well, Joker's not putting up 50. Joker doesn't have to put up 50. All he has to do is facilitate, rebound, which he's obviously clearly doing at 13. Assist, which clearly he's doing at 8, almost a triple-double. Joker's doing everything a Joker needs to do to facilitate this team where they are. And I just got Joker. I mean, that's just my guy. I think Joker is the MVP.
So my one question for you, and actually it's not the best question because he had great other numbers. But my knock on Joker was, and it's been some time, but he scored 8 points and they beat a Portland team. So Portland's trash, but they did win. And granted, he did have 18 boards in that game, so he did other things. But I can't.
I mean, has every athlete not had an off night? I don't know. You tell me an athlete who hasn't had an off night. He had 18 boards, but maybe his points weren't where they needed to be. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. Who you got? I think Jokic will win it, but personally, I think Devin Booker should get it just because of what he's doing without Chris Paul being on the floor, with the Cam Johnson getting hurt, and that team hasn't dropped at all, and he's been consistent all season. I'd like to see him get it. But I think Jokic is going to get it basically because he's putting up better numbers than he did last year, and with all the injuries Denver had, he's had to carry that team. So I think that storyline is probably going to get him the MVP.
Can it?
Yeah, man. I'm going with Joker as well. This guy is top 10. This guy is top 10 in the league in points, assists, and rebounds. Like, that's almost unheard of. I don't think we probably got to look it up. I don't know when the last time we've seen somebody.
Probably Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was in rebounds though.
Top 10. He was having a triple double. He wasn't top 10.
I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But the fact that but he does, and because he does so much for Denver, because to your point that he's missing those guys, Murray. He's missing Murray and missing MPJ. This guy, he facilitates the offense. He brings the ball up. The offense goes through him. He just does so much for that team. And then I think it's between him and Embiid, and the fact that when they went head to head, he went to Philly and beat Embiid. I think that's what put it over the top for me. So I got Joker as the MVP.
Oh, by the way, Joker's field goal percentage is 57.4. I'd be curious to see what the other field goal percentages are going forward.
Yeah, and I just think he has the least.
No, I'm just saying, he's shooting the floor at 50. He's averaging a triple double. His field goal percentage is at 57.4. I'd be curious to know what Embiid's numbers are.
He definitely probably shoots.
Or even Booker. Give me Booker's numbers.
Yeah, but I was going to say though, that's a little skewed because
it's not skewed. It is what it is.
No, I mean it's a little skewed because Devin Booker shoots more from distance.
So well, he better make it. But so basically, he makes bad shots with good shots. I get it.
No, but I'm saying is because he shoots more from distance. That means he's going to shoot a little.
So Joker doesn't shoot from distance. Is that what we're saying?
He does. He doesn't shoot.
What's his 3-point percentage?
That's a good question. That's a good. Yeah, I can pull that up for you real quick and in a hurry.
Because he only shoots 1 or 2 a game, I believe.
Yeah.
And Giannis is at 54.7. And it's funny, the name John Morant has just fallen off the cliff in this discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's falling off. I don't think it's falling off, but I don't think it's in the same realm.
That wasn't the case not too long ago, but
he was definitely in the discussion, maybe even as much as a week or 2 ago. I think because
John Morant isn't as skilled as Joker. Let's be honest. John Morant is a high flying. No, John Morant is a high flying, and he has a good IQ for basketball. But I don't think his skill sets are that of Joker. And I'm sorry, I don't think he's quite there yet. I think his ceiling is very high. I think where he can go is very phenomenal, but I don't think he's quite to Joker's level yet.
So it's like Joker
and again, he has a better supporting cast. So like if you're looking at all of
the Memphis has a great supporting cast. Memphis won 11-2.
But that's my point. That's my point is that, you know, if we're looking at all of these guys in terms of MVP candidates, who would you say has the least amount of talent to work with?
Joker.
Yeah, that's my point.
I'd say Jokic
but his team has the worst record.
No, understood. But I'm saying that, and that's a direct result of.
So I can't give you a bunch of credit for having worse talent when you have a worse record.
Yeah, but but they're in the playoffs though. It's not like they're not in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but a 2 seed versus a 6 seed is a big difference. No,
it is. But the point of the matter is that, you know,
and we're saying that Memphis has a much better supporting cast, but there wasn't other all-stars over there.
Yeah, but
so Joker averages 1.5 threes per game.
Especially Philly. You got Harden, you got Maxey,
Harden just got
Tobias Harris. But there's still, I'm just saying.
But you can't knock Embiid for having James Harden for
I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that makes Joker that much more valuable.
Hey, just so we're clear, so Joker shoots 35.6% from 3-point land. 35.6. That's what he shoots from 3-point land. 55.6 from regular field goal range. His rebounds are 13.9. His assists are 7.6. His blocks are 0.8. His steals are 1.13. And personal fouls are 2.3. That's his stats. That's his stat line for the career. Or for the season, for the season.
And you said he shoots what from 3?
34.8.
And what's his
34.8 at the 3-point line.
So, and how many points is he averaging? I don't have it in front of me.
27, I think.
No, points. I don't have that either. I can get to
26. He's averaging 26.
So Embiid's at 30. He shoots better from 3, and he's better.
What is his 3-point shot? If you don't mind me asking.
So I got him. I actually got him side by side. So Joker and Devin Booker. So
Joker or Embiid?
Oh, I thought we was comparing. Oh, no. So okay,
I don't know. Whoever we're comparing.
No, that's fine.
Put up anybody. I don't care. Put up Joker.
So Joker shoots 57% from the field, and Embiid shoots 49% from the field. Jokic shoots 35% from 3-point range, and Embiid shoots 37%. Embiid is 82% from the line. Jokic is 81%. Jokic's averaging 13.8 rebounds. Embiid averaging 11.4. Assists, 8.1. Joker, Embiid, 4.4. Blocks, 0.8 for Embiid. For Joker, and 1.4 for Embiid. And then steals, 1.4 for Joker and 1 for Embiid.
I mean, they're both really close. I mean, let's be honest. They
both have 42 wins. But yeah, so Embiid's in the East, which I think we would agree is a tougher conference.
Embiid is a tough. No, hell no. You think the East is tougher than the West?
I would agree.
Better. The Lakers are still.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Are you
top to bottom?
The Suns, the Warriors, and Memphis will take on any one of the 3 East teams.
Yeah, but you got to play a bunch of other teams too.
No, but
those other teams. Those are metaphorical. Those are metaphorical. Okay, do you want to get the bullshit out of the way to get the cream to the crop? I get that. The cream will rise to the top eventually. But when the cream rises to the top, the cream will rise at the top 3 in the West over the top 3 in the East every day of the week times 2 Sunday.
Jay, you play in the NFC East with your team. You understand what it's like to beat up on easy teams and have a good record.
All right, man. All right. I mean, say what you got. I mean, if you want to go that route,
okay. So
I mean, you can go that route.
So think about. Just put it this way. Just put it this way, Jay. This should close the door on this argument. The Brooklyn Nets are an 8 seed in the East. What would they be in the West?
Probably about the same, honestly. Probably about 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 even. I'll say probably about 5 or 6 in the West.
Exactly. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Let's be honest. With Brooklyn, those guys, look, they're going to have to battle out of the play-in. And they're going to have to hope that Kyrie and Durant can stay healthy long enough to get them where they got to go.
But that's the point.
If they were to bet on Simmons,
Brooklyn's in the play-in in the East. The Lakers are in the play-in in the West.
Okay. Right. Okay, let's go with the Lakers. Okay, if you're gonna go with the Lakers, I'll give you that every day.
The Pelicans are in the play-in in the West.
Because let's be honest, the Pelicans are better than the freaking Lakers. I'll give you that every day of the week.
And both of those teams are not good.
Right.
Exactly. And I agree with that 100%.
So then the East is better than the West.
I don't think so. Because you still have Utah, you still have Denver, which plays pretty damn good against the top 3. Look, let's be honest. No. Let's be honest. Let's cut the shit where the shit matters. You really look at the top 3 teams. Everything below the top 3 is just fluff. It's just fluff.
Not in the East.
It's fluff. No, it's even in the East. It's matter of fact, more so in the East, because if you look at the winning percentages, if you look at the personal records, you're going to see it's the West is a better record than the East. More so in the West.
Whoa.
No. Whoa. Look at the records. Look at the records of the East versus the West, and then you come back and you tell me who has the better records.
The Celtics are fluff. You're telling me the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers are fluff?
Okay, man. I mean, like I said, we could predicate the Celtics all you want. Predicate them. Put them up there as high as you want. You think the Celtics are making it? No. You think the Celtics are making it to the finals? Let's just be honest. Let's be real.
Think that the Celtics
no. Just be real. Do you think the Celtics make it to the finals?
Entire conference, not who's going to win the finals.
No. I'm asking you, who makes the finals? Do you think the Celtics have a legitimate shot at the finals? Or are we just talking about semantics?
I'm talking about
the semantics are this.
The
semantics are this. The semantics are that Memphis. Semantics are Memphis, Golden State, and Phoenix, based on their strength of schedule and everything else in between, have a much tighter schedule than what you got in the East. And I will put any three of those teams against your top 3 in the West.
Right now, today, I'm taking Boston over Golden State.
No, then you're gonna lie. You're gonna lose that every. I'll take that bet. God, no. Hold on. I'll take. Wait. Ray, I'll take that bet.
I take Boston over Utah. I take Boston over Dallas and over the.
Wait a minute. He said Boston over Golden State. No, hold on now. Ray said Boston over Golden State. I'll take that bet. Ray, God damn, let's put some money up. We'll put some money up on that.
We can't bet it. How do you bet it?
I know. Damn it! I wish we could. Son of a gun. They get us on legalities. But I would put money on. I would put money on that every day of the week.
But actually, Jay, you know how we bet that? You do realize they just played, right?
Yeah.
And Kanye was there. And do you know who won?
No, I'll give you the Celtics on that. I'll give you the Celtics. Yeah, I'll give you the Celtics because I know that Draymond Green didn't play. But okay, I got you.
No, he played.
He played.
Did he play?
Draymond got hurt.
Steph got hurt.
I wasn't sure if it was Draymond or I just knew one of the big 3. Either way, okay, let's continue.
Boston's better than Golden State.
I think that Golden State is better than the Celtics every day of the week times 2.
Okay.
Are they better than Utah?
Chris, go ahead.
Would you take? No, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
The 12th seed in the East is the New York Knicks. They have 29 wins, and that they have more wins than what the 10th seed in the West would have.
Thank you.
We're talking about 12th seed and 10th seed. Okay, stay down there if you will, please. I'll stay down there all damn day. No, that's okay. If that's what we're talking about, if we're talking about 12th seed and 10th seed, okay, fuck. Okay, I'll give you that every day of the week.
But that was the
I'll give you every day. I'll give you every day of the week. I'll give you that.
Top to bottom, the East is better than the West. Will you concede that?
I just like how we're talking about 12 seed. I like how we're talking about 12 seed and 10 seed. I'm talking about the first
home
three
for you. Jay, I'll bring it home for you. Your Houston Rockets still haven't been eliminated from the playoffs.
Man, please stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, Ray. Ray, do not make me, Ray. I love you, Ray. Do not make me come to the television. Ray, I love you. Stop it, Ray.
Hilarious.
Stop it. Ray, you better stop it.
I'm just giving you,
I love you, but you better
Jay,
stop.
you want the facts, right, Jay? I'm just giving you the facts. If Houston was in the East, they would already be eliminated, and they're not eliminated in the West.
God, I love it. I like how we talk about bottom feeders. I mean, literally, we're legitimately debating bottom feeders.
I know.
And got hurt last night for the Warriors. He's going to be out for a while.
They say he won't be back to probably the playoffs.
Yeah,
exactly. No, but I want to understand this. So we are legitimately
in the first round.
Ray. We are legitimately debating bottom feeders. Is that where this is going?
We said the point is that top to bottom, that the East is better than the West.
Man, okay, you want to agree with that top to bottom, whatever. But let's be honest. Top three. Let's just talk about top three because honestly, the top three are the only three that really matter. Let's be honest. The top three are the top three that only really matter. That's only really matters.
So you got Miami, Milwaukee, and Philly versus Phoenix, Memphis, and Golden State.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we're going top, let's say, so out of those 6 teams, and we're going top 6, who are you picking?
I'm gonna make it easier for you. The finals will feature Milwaukee and Phoenix straight up. Milwaukee and Phoenix. It will be Milwaukee and Phoenix. I'm saying it will be Milwaukee and Phoenix 2.0. I'm just being honest. I think Milwaukee East. I don't think. No.
You said
there is no team in the East. There is no team in the East that's going to defeat Milwaukee when it comes to playoff times.
Jay,
but here's playoff times. Milwaukee is going to mob
right now. You're not answering the question. You dance.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question? I apologize. I'm sorry.
So you said you were talking. You said top 3, East and West, right? I just named the top
I get you. Yeah, top 3 East and West. Because Memphis, Golden State, and Phoenix have got a better record than those other top 3.
Because they play worse teams. We established that.
Okay, you say what you want.
So
whatever.
If we're going 1 through 6, who would you pick 1 through 6?
I'm definitely going Phoenix. I got that. I'm definitely going Phoenix number 1.
Okay.
I'm probably going to go Milwaukee number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm going to go Memphis because I feel like Memphis on 11-2 run without a healthy John Morant still sustained itself. I'm going to go Memphis number 3.
Okay.
Number 4, I'm going to go Brooklyn.
They're not top 3.
Yeah,
no. I'm sorry. Was that? Okay. Did I skip? No, wait. Did I skip over 3?
No, I'll repeat them for you. So in the East, you got Milwaukee. You got Miami, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. And the West,
I got Phoenix. No, wait. I got Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Memphis.
Who's 4? So you got left. I
think I had Brooklyn. I think I had Brooklyn at number 4. No, I had Brooklyn at number 4.
Yeah, Brooklyn's the 8 seed. We're only talking about the top 3.
So you got left. You said Phoenix, Milwaukee, and Memphis.
So you got
Miami,
Philly, and Golden State.
Who's your
I know. I definitely have those top 3. And then number 4 would be possibly. Fuck. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I shouldn't say that word on. I apologize. So I got Phoenix, Milwaukee, Memphis, and then I got a number 4 spot. I probably would put Golden State. I'll put Golden State number 4 because I think if Golden State has all their team healthy, they are definitely taking the 4th spot.
Okay. So that
I didn't mean to curse. I apologize for cursing.
No, but that goes along with what you think. So that's fair.
That's fine. I disagree, but that's what we do here. We talk, we disagree. That's the great thing about ASAP. We have freedom of speech. You can say and believe whatever you want, even if you're wrong, and we still love you for it. And that's for everybody. That's not just at Jay. But
I love you, Ray. I love you.
it's been great. I love you too, man. But some of us got to get up in the morning and go to work. So thank you all for tuning in. We know we're a little bit after hour, but hopefully it was entertaining for you. ASAP's doing the daggone thing. So continue to tune in. We will be back on Monday at 9 o'clock with more news from this crazy NCAA tournament as UCLA is currently down 1. Brackets are being destroyed literally right before our eyes. Who knows what we'll find by Monday, but definitely tune in for the recap. Y'all have a great night.
Whole sports, all plays. Yeah. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court,